So now we can see that the graph goes and makes its change every 45 degrees. So we can see the period of the graph. One complete sine graph makes its appearance every 180. So that means we've got 2 complete. That number also tells you how many graphs are you going to have within a domain of 0 to 360. You're going to have 2. There's your one complete sine graph. It will end at 180, but they gave you a domain of 360, so you continue the pattern. If they change, now listen to me carefully, if they change your domain from 0 to 225, for example, don't fright. It's exactly the same graph. You complete the graph, all you do is now after 200, they're telling you that your domain is from 0 to 225. From 0 to 225. That means anything after 225 must be erased. So it's still, the graph still looks the same. Only thing, your domain. Now your domain, that restriction, when that is adjusted, it just means that you are adjusting the length of your swimming pool. Okay, so the style of the swim is the same. Listen to what I'm telling you, and I hope I'm getting through to you. The style of the swim is the same. When they adjust the restriction, they are narrowing, they're making your swimming pool smaller, not the style of the swim. Okay, the style of the swim is changed there. The length of the pool is changed there. That will determine how your dolphin is going to swim. That is going to determine the length of the pool of the swim that he's going to make, the period of the graph. Okay? So here goes, we're going to end that, and that is what your graph would look like should the graph say 0 to 225. If it said 0 to 135, for example, if they said 135, then all we do, we go to 135 and everything after that. You don't need to complete the, you might ask, so basically that's what the graph would look like. You just do that, and that is what your function would look like. That is the 3 sine 2x graph for x being an element of 0 to 135. It still goes up to 3, goes down to minus 3. The degree change is still every 45 degrees, and the period of the graph is 0 to 135, and that's where you cut your graph off. That's where it stops. Okay? Let's see. We have now another graph. I tell you, draw the graph. G of x is equal to minus 4 cos 2x. Minus 4 cos 2x for x being an element of 0 to 180, for example. Okay? Right? G of x is equal to minus 4 cos 2x for x being an element. Now you can see that we're building you up in levels of difficulty. The problems are getting a little bit, the style of the problem is getting a little bit trickier. But if you're understanding what we have been explaining to you from the beginning of the topic, you shouldn't have a problem. Okay? We don't have much time to do this. We've got like 3 minutes, guys. So let's go. There we go. 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. In fact, we're now going till, so now 90 degrees divided by 2, that means it's every 45. So 45, 90, 135, 180. And that's what they said, 0 to 180. It's a cos graph. So that's 4 and that's minus 4. Right. It's negative 4. So we start off at negative 4. 90 divided by 2 is equal to 45. That means every 45 degrees the graph would make a change. So we go from there, cut there, turn, cut, and stop. And there we go, guys. That is your graph, G of x. Please don't forget, label it graph G. All right? Minus 4 cos 2x for x being an element of 0 to 180. If the graph had to go, if they told you from minus 180, just to wrap this up before the break, if they told you that this had to go from minus 180 to plus 180, here goes quickly, minus 180 to positive 180, all you do now, remember that's 0, we just continue the pool on this side, minus 45, minus 90, minus 135, minus 180, let's just label that, no, minus 135 and minus 180, and you just continue the pattern on the other side. So it still starts from here, goes up there, every 45 degrees is your change, and the graph would stop like that. And that is what your graph would look like should it be from minus 180 to 180 degrees. Okay, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of today's show. You've got a 3-minute break, and we'll see you, take all the notes, process whatever has been taught within the first 3 segments of today's show, and I'll see you after the break.